Hello, everyone. It's His Imperial Majesty, Dr. Holy Emperor Stuart A. Swerdlow,
And Janet Diane Moya Swerdlow.
who is a peasant with no title. And this is the Expansions News Podcast Addendum for the beginning of October 2018.
All right, so I've got a couple of very interesting little stories for you here. Now, I think you were gone when I was talking.
I'm always gone, you know what I mean?
know. I think when I was talking about how that they're making women naked and then now they're going to make
Yes.
men naked.
That's like all God's children are naked.
There you go. So this was so interesting to me because when they first started doing this, and I've told you this before, you know how they showed a little bit of the woman, a little bit of this woman, and blah, blah. Now they have what's called the naked dress. Now
It's a see-through dress.
Well, no, it's not exactly. Because what they've done, is they've done a little bit of, I don't know. Well, first of all, they started off calling the color tan, nude. So they started off with that. And I told you that they were going to make women naked. So now they're actually called naked dresses. Like they're just women wearing like beads strung on them.
Like you are in the morning.
Or like chainmail type of things.
Oh, like I am in the morning.
And really they are totally naked. And so they call them naked dresses now. So they're not really a dress. They're just kind of like beads or something strung on you. And it looks really uncomfortable.
It makes, decision of clothing very easy.
Well, I guess. But you have to decide what nude bead or whatever to string on you. I thought that was interesting. And then, of course, everybody's supposed to do it. So now you can do it for a good cause. Serena Williams, the tennis star, she recently went naked to promote Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and then she sang this song called "I Touch Myself" because you're supposed to self-examine your breasts.
That's just not right.
Yeah, and then January Jones also did the same thing with a topless selfie. So they want everybody to be naked, and that's of course a precursor to New World Religion.
So how come when I do it, my videos get banned?
I don't know. I thought it was so funny. Anyway, so just again, I called it correctly and just notice, but like I've told you a billion times, getting naked isn't what you do to promote a cause.
No,
Okay?
it's what you do when you go outside to throw the trash out.
Yeah, apparently now you do because it's all over the place. Oh, in fact, I actually saw. I didn't look at the article where I can't tell you where it was, but they were hiring naked house cleaners.
I think that's a great idea.
You weren't allowed to touch them, but it was like $65 an hour to have them come in and clean your home naked.
Hey, for $65 an hour, I'm touching them.
Anyway, I just thought it's bizarre. Bizarro. And then you weren't here last week, but last week I also reported about Houston opening sex doll brothels, right?
It's hot there.
So, in Kentucky, there was a man who had 2 child sex dolls delivered to him from China. And apparently, now I don't know how it all came about, but apparently there were court records that said that police tracked this package from China to this 41-year-old man's home in Kentucky. They served a search warrant and they found the anatomically correct female dolls.
And that's illegal to have an anatomically
Well,
correct
this
doll.
is the issue. Apparently they brought charges up against it, but let me tell you about these dolls.
Doll abuse?
One was an infant doll, and one was a 6 to 8-year-old girl, anatomically correct.
Well, it is Kentucky.
So, anyway, now the judge dropped the child pornography charges against the man because he said that no children were actually involved. But there is now federal legislation which is called, I think it's called CREEPER, which means Curbing Realistic Exploitative Electronic Pedophilic
Okay, listen to me.
Robots Act,
Okay, they just made up a word and then they put words to fill in the letters.
which would ban child sex dolls and is being considered. So remember, I told you New World Religion was going to have to do with child pornography, child sex, animal sex, all this stuff. So they want everybody to get naked, and so you're practicing and you're setting imprints for frequencies.
Well, in January, I'm going to tell you a template that began 3,000 years ago that involves this.
Yes, and wasn't it in the Middle Ages that they actually had brothels for children, where they had children
In Italy.
Was it Italy? I
Yes.
thought it was like all through medieval Europe.
Mostly it was in the Renaissance areas.
Yeah. And then, now here's our number 13 again. Did you know that in the state of Missouri, the whereabouts of almost 1,300 sex offenders is unknown.
In Missouri, everyone is a sex offender.
And what's interesting, apparently there are 16,000 registered sex offenders in the state of Missouri. That's a lot.
That's all?
Well, I think that's a lot of people. So what I'm telling you is be careful with your children and yourself. You don't know who your neighbors
Just don't go
are.
to Missouri.
And then in Massachusetts, they have 13,000 registered sex offenders. So there's a 13 again. And it said a lot of states are having problems keeping up with their sex offenders. So, this thing of registering sex offenders, don't feel safe because of that. Again, work on your mind pattern, don't attract such things. But it's out there, so be careful and watch your children, please.
Yeah, really, don't let them play outside without watching them.
No, and don't let them get so far you can't grab them.
They should not even go down the driveway without being watched.
Well, even beyond that, you have to be able to grab them. Because somebody
That's
walking
true.
by,
That's true. Very
and
true.
if you're at the front door watching them, you can't get to them. And that happened here, and I don't remember the state, but there was a little autistic boy. It happened just around the time you left. And he ran ahead of his father. No.
Oh, no, I know where that was.
Yeah, I can't remember the
and
state.
they found him dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that was in North Carolina.
Was it? But it was just a few minutes supposedly that he was gone, and he was dead. And he ran ahead of the father. The father couldn't catch him. So I'm just telling you, be very mindful of your children. I mean, if you wouldn't leave your purse sitting out there at the edge of the driveway, don't leave your child, okay? So don't do it.
That's true.
Your mother actually said that.
That was a few things that she said were smart.
Yeah. And now we've also been talking about two things. I told you about the woman who was tremendously obese. That, was Cosmopolitan magazine. I think it was Cosmopolitan.
right.
Saying how wonderful
and,
it is, right?
She was fat shamed by Piers Morgan.
No. I don't even like that terminology. I think it's silly. No, but he said, I care about you. I care about your health.
Yeah,
These people
right.
are exploiting you, so don't let them exploit you.
You know what? I'm sure she likes the money coming in for it.
Yes, but she's going to pay for it. So the money is, she dies, so it gets the money.
You know what? She's already obese. It's not like she made herself like that to get money.
We don't know that.
Oh, come on.
So I'm just telling you, regardless. So if you want to lose weight, now there's a revolutionary poo pill that was just developed in New Zealand.
Did you say poo or poop?
Poo.
With no P at the end.
No, just poo.
But here's something that's interesting.
What?
Poo and poop are the same thing.
Yeah.
Except poo, you don't have to pee.
Yeah.
So you don't pee with poo.
I guess. So poo pills. So anyway, a New Zealand research facility, I wonder what Brainiac thought this up and how many millions of dollars it's costing, has undertaken a revolutionary study on 4 overweight teenage girls and developed there's our word magic, a magic pill that could be a diet and exercise alternative to losing weight. It's a capsule filled with human feces.
Oh, and who's going to take that?
Well, apparently the study ends at the end of 2019. This is a trial because they want to see if the feces of a fit, healthy person can alter the gut microbiome of an overweight person.
Just take probiotics.
Because they claim that this works for mice.
Oh,
so now they want
that's
to
like
see.
human.
They want to see if it works for not mice.
Sure. Maybe
So-
they should try it on squirrels and see if squirrels like certain cigars.
So they want a super donor, and apparently they had a challenging time finding a super donor to give healthy feces. So the super donor had to be completely healthy, not on any medication,
Where are you going to find that?
slim based on their BMI, have a healthy diet and exercise regularly, and only about 10% of the uber healthy people who volunteered as donors made the cut.
So their BMI means bowel movement intelligence?
Intestinal,
perhaps?
maybe. It says bariatric surgery is only available in limited amounts for adults, and again,
It's not a healthy thing to do.
no. And drugs used to treat adult obesity aren't licensed in children, also not healthy, and they aren't very effective anyway. That's true because it's a mind pattern. So teenage obesity is probably the biggest health problem New Zealand faces, believe that or not.
New Zealand, yes, the Maoris like to be big.
So it's a double-blind trial, which means neither the scientists or the participants know who's getting the real drug and who isn't. This is only on four girls. It's not that big a study, but
Well, there's only 4 girls in New Zealand.
maybe. Anyway, he says, this researcher says, we know that dieting and rigorous exercise can work, but humans are hedonistic creatures.
Especially me.
These pills are once only treatment. You take 2 days, and our results show that the effects can last at least 6 months. That still sounds disgusting.
You know what?
to me.
I don't care how long they last. I am not going to take a pill with someone's poo in it.
It says what we do is we strain and sieve out the bacteria. We get rid of the waste, which is the smelly bit. Then we clean the bacteria up, put them in capsules, and they're odorless. And you just think, I can do this.
No, I can't.
So then I went on, I found this story about a woman who was over 100 pounds overweight or 50 kilograms, which is obese. And she said she lost her weight the old-fashioned way over 4 years. She said everybody wants a quick fix, and when people ask her how she did it, they don't want to hear it.
Listen, people, you want to lose weight? Don't eat so much and drink distilled water. Period.
And move. You have to exercise. That's what basically she said she did. And she says it's not fun, it's boring, but that's what works, and that's what you need to do. She said she didn't know anymore if she was hungry or not hungry. She had to relearn hunger. And she said it's about making smart choices, and you don't need to starve. And that's the truth of it. So again, I want to remind you of our health and healing books. Work on your mind pattern. Hyperspace Helper is a good basic place to start. Hyperspace Plus, Healing Archetypes and Symbols, Decoding Your Life. These are great health and healing books to help you, as well as join our membership, less than $1 a day, about 53 cents a day if you get the year program, and work on your mind pattern. You don't need to take poop pills.
No.
And, you know, like this
And
woman...
that's basically my income is like 53 cents a day.
Yeah, so what I'm telling you is this stuff is ridiculous. You need to move. You need to eat less, and you need to work on your mind pattern, because most obese people are insulating against life, and most of them have some kind of trauma that they're dealing with or protecting themselves against.
You know, only dogs eat other dogs' poop.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
No, don't do that. And then in the UK, this is my last...
Oh, speaking of poop, then comes UK. That makes sense.
The UK, my last story. This is, again, another ridiculous thing about being inclusive. The University of Manchester
It's Manchester.
Students' Union has banned hand clapping.
Yay for them.
A student union has ditched clapping, whooping, and cheering in favor of jazz hands.
Which means...
That's doing this. That's actually
I find that offensive.
British Sign Language, or BSL.
They have such... Oh, it's because no one
That's
can
what they
understand
call
when
it.
they speak.
A wave of both hands. The union
That's what the Queen is.
officer
Hello.
named Sarah Kahn said traditional clapping can cause issues for students with autism, sensory issues, or deafness.
What?
Okay? So they said that they call it BSL clapping. Will be British Sign Language, dear. I just told you.
Oh,
Did
is
you
that different
forget?
than American Sign Language?
I don't know. Must be.
Because they must do it with the British accent.
Maybe. It says that BSL clapping will be used at student events such as debates, panels, and talks. And student groups and societies will be encouraged to move away from audible clapping.
Okay, so in the United States, if people did jazz hands,
Yeah?
they would be arrested.
No, I agree. She said that it encourages an environment of respect.
If I went like this to a woman, what would happen?
I would slap you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And kick you. And
Well,
do
that's-
other things.
That's beside you do that anyway.
Yes. Anyway, so then she said that they're trying to look for ways to make events more inclusive. Now, what's interesting is that they then interviewed a student who has a deaf issue, and he said he doesn't have a problem with people clapping. And they also said, what about blind people?
Right.
Because blind people aren't
They
going to
need to
see.
hear it.
They aren't going to see this, and they can hear this.
Yeah, hello.
Right? So that's excluding blind people.
I mean, it's really
right?
getting beyond bizarre.
So anyway, that person didn't have a problem with people clapping. And then Piers Morgan and Jeremy Vine, two broadcasters, said that Britain is losing its mind.
Yeah, hello. No, they lost already their mind.
So it's just like really ridiculous.
Britain, that's why I don't call it the UK, I call it the YUK.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anyway, very, very odd news as always. So thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we
What
always...
about Cher?
we
You
always-
talked about Cher in the last podcast.
Yeah, she's 72,
Yeah.
remember? Yeah, and releasing a new album, right? And a lot of things are going on with people in their 70s right now.
Oh, well.
Icons that are kind of like on the way out the door, but they keep bringing them
That's-
back,
That's
right?
not where they're going.
They keep bringing them back. So, until next time, bye.
Bye.